Hey, Hannah.
Okay, I have a question.
Yeah.
I watched a little bit of a recent podcast that you released.
And you want to make a post-release edit? Is that what you want to do, Hannah?
I have this is even more stupid and embarrassing than that. Why is your video quality so much better than mine?
Well, this is something that we talked about in the pilot episode. Hannah, I've taken the pill. I'm always well lit.
Oh yeah, we did talk about this. I'm not willing to do that. You have a light, like a ring light, like a TikToker ring light on you right now? Show us your
I
setup. I think you should show us your setup. I think this is the reveal episode for the setup.
Okay, like, and to be honest, the setup is not that great. It's just these lights on the ceiling that are like quite bright. I think you've been here before. I'm just chilling at the ye old bed office.
Yeah, nice. I don't think, but you're using just a webcam.
Yeah, so it's on my MacBook. I assume you're also using a MacBook,
Yeah. All right.
but like your
Well,
window is like to your left.
that's right.
Right? If you're facing the window, I think it'd make a big difference.
Oh, should we try that? All
Now we're
right.
gonna
We
get
can
the whole living room. I can only get a quarter of the living room because there are people mucking about in the back, aren't there?
give it a go. Give it a go. Oh no, the people in this household do not wake up this early. Um, that's out of me. The real thing you're getting is the bookshelves, right?
I was thinking about asking you about books today. Do you have recommendations that aren't David Foster Wallace?
Called out. What are you hoping? What are you hoping to get out of your? Well, I mean, obviously, the other thing I have is like a lot of rat fic.
And we keep digging. Okay.
What do you want to experience?
Yeah, I mean something that just like rape it raises my aspirations. Like combining the word raise and aspirations is not the best, folks. Um,
This is your
uh,
aspiration.
or like deepens my connection to the world. So when I was 16, I read Siddhartha by Hermann Hesse, and maybe that was mostly me being 16 and not the book. But if you can make me feel like I'm 16 again, that'd be cool.
I feel like there should be a whole section of the bookstore that's like, feel like I'm 16 again. I think that is what people are looking for, right? That's just like absolutely the search. Okay, I actually might have
Yeah.
some recommendations. We're gonna live in 3D. I don't know where the rest of my stuff is, but okay, actually, I do have some recs. Okay, cool. I Simon Winchester is a really smart guy, and this book is like, yeah, I don't know. It's just like it's a series of not that, or I don't know. It's like a series of essays, but it also sort of forms a book about about the Pacific, and it's like this is like a lot of what I know about like World War II and the Pacific Rim, and it just like did feel like it had that feeling of like there's a whole world out here I don't know, like this is teaching me things about things I didn't even know to ask.
Oh, good, good.
Also, I had a good time reading this during my last breakup. And
All right.
then I'm a total sucker for like a really good like certain kind of pop science, but like at a certain level. So this one is about the discovery of oxygen and like what's going on with oxygen, which I think is quite good. And I'm like a total sucker for the ghost map, which is about it's just very like competence porn. It's about like cholera and the Broad Street pump and how early epidemiology and how they figured it out. And you're like, oh, smart people solving problems. It's so good.
Yeah. All right. These are some very Hana coded Rex. But which, fair enough. What did I expect?
Okay, maybe I'll try to surprise you. This one I was like thinking about a little bit, but I wasn't sure. Okay, I have two others. One of which I haven't read, so that's a great recommendation. The one I have read is Unreasonable Hospitality, which you
Mm.
might like because it's about excellence. So it's written by Will Guidara. It's about 11 Madison Park, this like extremely fancy restaurant in New York City, and how he made it excellent. Basically, how he and his team like got multiple Michelin stars, how they like obsess over the menu, how they like practice their patter and they like know every dish and can talk about every and he has all of these lessons, many of which I don't agree with, which is like how you do one thing is how you do everything. People can taste excellence. Like it's just like all of that. It does kind of serve as a book long self-hagiography / advertisement for 11 Madison Park. So like, I don't think it's like excellent literature, but you might like it. And also restaurant industry is like different than what we usually read about. But I read it in part because it like ended up being a book about management and about excellence.
Okay, you're winning me over, right? I was gonna say you kind of that my level of affection for food.
No. It's all about the analogy of like okay, what is it like to build something like perfect or something? And then if you want to raise your aspiration, there is a book maybe called Aspiration. Agnes Callard's latest book from like a year and a half ago is precisely about the philosophy of desiring to want that which you do not currently want. Like, what does that mean?
Oh yeah, meta desires. Yeah, those are important.
And like, what does it mean to want to be into classical music? You're not currently into classical music. Like, what's going on there?
Yeah, that's great. No, that one sounds potentially good. I mean, could be a bit forced and a bit hard, and maybe not deepen my connection with the world, but certainly answer a question on my mind. That reminded me, right? So I've been meeting other people who aren't you in my life lately. I know, really branching out.
I don't
know. And I'm in this funny place. So I tend to be like very transparent with people. Like they ask me how I'm doing. I usually say whatever, but that's like reflective of reality. And then I will give them some color and like tell them what I'm actually thinking and doing and whatever. And so I've had occasion to tell people like I'm leaving my job in 6 weeks. And they're like, oh, what are you gonna? Did Chana not know that? Is that another reveal?
We talk every week. You're not that transparent with me. This does remind me of this time that I was asking a friend sorrowfully and earnestly why I felt like I asked my friends more questions than they asked me. And he was like, Chana, is it with love? Is it possible that you do not let them get a word in edgewise? And I was like, yes.
But no, I'll defend you. I'll defend you a little bit. There's a thing where like if you talk to someone too regularly, like you just assume that the background is there and like you always have to reach for novelty. It's like, oh, we talk so often, you must like just naturally know what's going on in my life. And then these like this is the same with my family, which I actually don't talk to my family.
I'm a bisexual. But we thought these things were known.
Yeah. Well, and also granted that we only started talking regularly somewhat recently. But yeah, my decision to leave my job, did happen in that window. So it wasn't like some background thing that we needed to establish or whatever. I don't know. That was like my attempted defense. But anyway, I've gone around and I've talked to these other people and said, what are you doing? It's like, oh, well, I'm doing this right now. And like, oh, how's that going? It's like, pretty bad. This probably isn't the right thing for me to be doing. And in fact, I'm going to stop in a few weeks. It's like, oh, and then what are you going to do then? And I'm like, I'm going to chill the fuck out is what I'm going to do. And yeah, I've like multiple people have been like, oh wow, do you have like a plan for like chilling out and how you're really gonna like get the most out of it? Are you gonna like go to particular places and like pick up new hobbies and I was like, no, I'm gonna chill the fuck out.
Amazing. Do you think they are just like, totally coming from an optimizing world where like this is so alien? Or do you think that they want it to be the case that you have a plan because that would make the conversation easier? Like if you're like, I'm just going to chill and there's like there's nothing else. You're just going to chill. There's no follow-up questions they can ask, right?
There's like a more neutral follow-up question you could ask, which is, oh, what does chilling consist of for you? It's not like layered with all this ambition. Yeah. But anyway, I just found it remarkable that like, so this is a good topic for the show.
Chilling? Is this the chillin' episode?
No. It's not. No, not the chilling episode. It's like, so I just read like hot off the press this morning. Sam Chris is real mad that he got ratted. I want ratted to become a term like swatted. By the way, is like when you do something that isn't like extremely explicitly truth tracking or whatever, and then rationalists get mad at you. That's on Twitter. That's called getting ratted. is what we're gonna say.
I don't think I enjoyed this. Moving on.
But it is a phenomenon, right? It was like
There's no doubt. This is a
and perhaps one that's interesting to talk about.
You told somebody that I will not name recently that if they revealed that they did not abide by the rules of a party, they would get excommunicated from the rationalist community. By the way.
Well, this is just me like letting this person know, who I don't think was like incredibly steeped in like rationalism, that like this ratting phenomenon is a thing to my mind.
I need to know about the ratting.
I didn't have the term when I talked to that person, but
yes, it didn't quite come through.
But Nicholas Decker is the classic example. You know what happened with Nicholas Decker, right?
The GiveWell donations.
Yeah, people like talk about such a splitting of hairs. It's like, I said I would give half to GiveWell. Money is fungible. I ended up giving all of it to GiveWell. Like, come on, bro.
No, wait, what? This is where you. I'm shocked that you're taking this side of the debate. This is shocking to me. Wow, I don't understand your relationship to truth and epistemic.
Well, Chana is now going to stand for the ratters. Let's go. Chana, let me know, why was the Nicholas Decker thing so bad?
Oh, I totally thought this was going to be your guest intro, and it was going to be Nicholas Decker. I thought you were going to be like, Chana needs to like now stand up and defend herself to Nicholas Decker, and I was like, oh
no. That'd be fucking great.
Just like bait me into criticizing someone and then bring them on. Yeah, man. People donate. Okay. People donate to things and people for reasons. And they have like a theory of like how that works. And they don't like it when that, wow, I'm speaking in total rationalist cadence right now. I'm going to form a complete sentence. People don't like their expectations being violated. Sometimes rationalists, I think, totally ascribe a set of expectations that are non-existent that we then have to adhere to, which doesn't make sense if they're not actually expectations that anyone has. But this is, I think, part of why the whole charity navigator and the whole overhead thing had legs, right? It's because people had this model that was totally wrong, that when they like donate to charity, the money all goes to like the sad people in the third world countries or whatever. And they like needed to be taught and learn, they needed to be informed that in fact it's like very important to keep the lights on. It's very important to pay your lawyers, and it's very important to do your taxes as a charity and pay all that overhead. I've been thinking about this because there's like a whole genre of EAs with such like, I have such fondness for this, complaining that like their parents will give them money like when they're in college or whatever for like beer or whatever, and then when they donate it, their parents are pissed and they're like, hey man, what's the deal? Like, you gave me this money to do whatever I want with this. It matters to me. This is better than beer. This is like way better than beer. And like, that's all true. But I feel some sympathy for the parents who are like, I think what the parents are noticing correctly is that this is like an infinite pit, right? Which is true. Doing good is like an infinite obligation pit. We know this. There's like an EA Forum essay about it. It's just like a real fact that like people who are willing to let the obligation tug at them have to acknowledge, or have to say, no, I only will give 10%. You know, they have to like form some relationship to this. And I think the parents are kind of noticing that, and they're like, okay, well, I think the right thing to do would be like, great, I'm going to give you this amount of money and I'm going to like happily give it to you, and I'm going to like part with it and like not have some theory in my mind about how great your college experience is going to be and like vicariously live through you and like whatever. But I think they are noticing something like, if you then did need money, you would still be asking me for it. I don't know. I'm just like totally theorizing. How does this come all the way back around to Nicholas Decker? People want to like support people. Like people like have like people have an impressive and almost surprising desire to just like literally financially support people in particular. Like, I want you to have a nice dinner. I want, like, there's a reason that the whole like buy a goat for the person instead of like buy, like spend money in some general way works. But then you have to tell the truth. And people are like into the Nicholas Decker phenomenon. They want to like support Nicholas Decker, the person. And if he says have to give one, have to like Nicholas Decker, the institution, the rising star of Twitter, then he should do that.
And wait, is the GiveWell half the rising star rather than the personal
No,
thing? Is
the
that
other half is the rising star. They're investing in him specifically.
Yeah, so I feel some of that. My sense is like, yeah, I guess I am confused.
You're defending someone who didn't defend themselves. He doesn't think, I don't think he thinks this was like not a lie. He might think it was okay, but he literally was like, psych, or something like that.
Yeah. I mean, so I should just
figuratively, as everyone does now, but so as not to get ratted. He did not literally say psych, but
I mean, he said the equivalent of psych. I'm down for that. I should also disclose that I was a donor to this GoFundMe.
I was not.
And maybe my whole take on this is really colored by the fact that I was one of the people in the comments who suggested he do a GoFundMe, even after he said, "Oh, I would just give it all to GiveWell," because that was his initial proposal. And then other people were like, I guess other people proposed like, "Oh no, it needs to be some for you," basically for the reasons that you laid out. And I didn't like follow the thread.
Also, the whole idea is that it would get more money to GiveWell this way. If that's the whole theory, then you definitely can't lie to people, or this like system won't work.
Well, wait. And so here's my exact confusion. I thought the like I want to contribute to Nicholas Decker, the rising star, was big number on GoFundMe page that says Nicholas Decker, not like where that money ends up, right?
Yeah. And it is interesting, right? Because if he had like taken the money, put it in his bank account, blah, 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 and then a year later, like perhaps even unknowingly, like ended up donating the money, like obviously like no one would feel any feelings about that.
Like this is just the nature of giving people money, right? Like money is fungible, right? Like what you're doing is you're like contributing to their marginal dollar if you give like an individual person. And if donating money to charity is like a thing that they do, like what is the difference between giving them money personally and giving them money for charity? Yeah.
Okay, dumb point to make maybe. Is money fungible? I would like to question the premise. Allow me to say more words.
Yeah, say more, please.
Each dollar is just so precious to me. No, they have serial numbers and everything. They have names, Matt.
Well, the printed ones. Most money is not printed.
That's right. So money in my bank account is definitely fungible because it's just a number on a screen. I have like no idea. That money's not even there. The bank's loaning shit out. Blah, 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 blah. But my like, I don't know why I felt the urge to say my lived experience, but my lived experience of money is that like money in different places is in fact spent differently. So I have this like whole life lived within Venmo where like it's a little annoying to put money into Venmo and to take money out of Venmo. So mostly like the Venmo ecosystem stays in the Venmo ecosystem. So it's just me and my friends paying each other back for Ubers, like ad nauseum. The money just gets like shunted around the Uber riding community of Berkeley. And so, like, I think in this real way, that money is not fungible with like like what I would buy on Amazon because like there's friction to take it out, there's friction to put it in. I like don't even remember I have it. I have no idea how much is in my Venmo account right now. It could be like truly anywhere between like $20 and $400 because sometimes people pay me back for like bigger expenses through Venmo. Like, and so I wouldn't actually be surprised if like GoFundMe, like if there was some easy way to just like throw it onto your bank account, then I agree it's fungible. And I'm like not sure it is. I have no idea. I've never. We should run a GoFundMe.
Everyone who's getting GoFundMes only uses their GoFundMe money to fund other GoFundMes. Wow, what a scheme!
No, I wasn't saying anything that specific. I just meant something like, what do I mean? I don't know. I don't know. This doesn't really make sense.
And I think it's also true in the Venmo case. It's like the people giving you money on Venmo have no expectation about whether this money is going to stay in Venmo. And you're making a more general point. I know.
There's no moral fact about the Venmo thing. It's just an empirical fact.
Yeah, that things that particular dollars from particular sources do in fact get earmarked.
Some dollars are less fungible with other dollars.
Sometimes.
I have no idea how the GoFundMe works. Probably they just put it in your bank account. So this doesn't really make sense.
I would imagine, yeah.
Okay.
Anyway, that was a fun detour. I had a wind up / name for the show. I was going to say welcome to the Cursed Knowledge podcast, where we merely allude to, but do not specify knowledge that, if known to us, might break us. I'm Matt. This is Chana. And this the category of knowledge that I was going to allude to was like, I know some of your friends who are not as big as Hana stands as they could be, because they're kind of meh about coming on the show, right? And it's like,
Someone didn't even know about the show. I learned yesterday. This is a funny. Sorry, I know you're doing a wind up. This is a funny friend dynamic where I think I don't have particular emotions about people listening to the podcast or not, but like they're like, Hana, like they feel a little offended that I haven't told them about this podcast. They're like, oh, I thought we were friends. Like, why didn't you tell me about your podcast? And I'm like, I thought we were friends. Why don't you know about my podcast?
I'm going to take your friend's side on this one, Hana. I think you should be plugging the show more.
All the time. I did not do insufficient marketing for this podcast.
You like and sometimes retweet my tweets about it. You very rarely.
Every Sunday, by which I mean for 2 Sundays in a row, I took the lovely Riverside screenshots at the end and was like, guess what time it is?
That's true. That's very nice. It's a little vague, and Twitter really doesn't like our self-promotion so far. The algorithm is kind of beating us up a bit, so we should take a hit for that. Anyway, I want to blame your friends for the fact that I don't have a guest again.
You too. Wow, you found everyone I know who likes me and is willing to be on YouTube.
Well, no. Here's the thing. It's still cursed knowledge. I'm not telling you who's who, right? Because there's like some layers of ambiguity around like who's who here. So for one, I only know like some subset of your like EA relevant friends, which is like a subset of a subset, right? In the first place, just like I don't have the full list or whatever. And then some people have legitimate excuses, right? Some people are like at weddings or on a plane or like this or that, and that doesn't reflect anything.
Legitimate. Okay, on a plane.
Yeah. At like a wedding, right, is like quite a substantial.
When I was at a wedding, that does not seem to you to be a legitimate excuse to skip the pod.
Well, Hana, this is
the bar is different for guests. Great.
Long-running commitment that you have. Some kind of like substantial formal commitment.
Much like a wedding. Yeah,
and then other people, I think, fairly, and we can think of one person in particular, just really don't like me. Which is like reason enough not to come on.
Did I tell you this where I said something? I was explaining to somebody a few weeks ago that I had a podcast, and then I described, they're like, you guys have guests and you ask them questions. I'm like, well, he brings on a guest and we sometimes ask them questions, but we sort of just talk. We talk. Sometimes they talk. And they were like, it sounds like Matt has a podcast. Ownership is confusing.
Well, that's interesting. That's just the philosophy of the podcast kind of thing. Is like, is the person who's like hustling and recording and putting out, like, are they the owner of the podcast? Because in one way, like, I could just disappear and like throw you in a room with someone that you interview, right? And do all that work the same. And I would be like your assistant. Yeah. Which, by the way, listeners, Hana is looking for an assistant. See, I did that nice pivot to plug your need for an assistant.
At least 5 hours a week. Get at me.
Yeah, be a part of the hottest and least criticized video program ever.
Speaking of getting ratted, I guess I told you this last time, but I was braced for a lot more. I'll say that. But people,
no, you mentioned it. Yeah.
Here's what I think, actually. I think I don't want this to be the whole topic of the pod, but I will say this. My current take, not having like totally like dug into critiques with people who aren't you, that might explain some of what the limited criticism so far is, I think it's like early days. And like, that's why criticism is all the more valuable, because like there's still like a lot of like pivoting and figuring out to do. But I do have some sense that people are like, oh man, video program doing a thing, going in a direction. And I'm like, whoa. Video program finding its legs, figuring out what works, figuring out what we want to do, what's in our wheelhouse. Early days, which, I don't mean to be a bulletproof glass against criticism. It's like just a genuine fact that like, one, criticism, yeah, as I say, all the better, because this is like the most steerable moment of the video program, or like among the most steerable moments. But also I just like want to put people like a little at ease, or like, I don't know, after we release like 3 more videos or something, then you can definitely be like, the video program is doing something, and here I like it or I don't. And I wonder if people like have some of that in mind when they're like, first video, how do I feel about it?
Yeah, they should, because I think this was just like a total takedown of my thing, being like, oh, you didn't like our first video. Is that necessarily going to be representative of all the other videos? And like, of course not.
But sorry, and all the more so because to the extent we take your criticism to heart and like cause that to make the other videos different. So it's like not a takedown. Although it's true, right? It's a bit like, right, like a good dating app makes itself obsolete. Like good criticism makes itself look stupid in retrospect because like, they just fixed everything or something.
Yeah, no. I mean, if you guys come out with the game theory video,
very prescient in retrospect, but you know what I mean.
If you guys come out with the game theory video, my next blog post is just going to be called "Repent."
How can I ever doubt Chana and Eric? I want to talk about your job, but I do think the thing you said is interesting because I frequently talk about the queering the management assistant binary. I think the line between assistant and manager is often extremely, extremely blurry.
In principle, in practice, I think the social reality, like.
Oh yeah, sorry. Obviously, well, no, sorry. I'm not. Yeah. This is precisely what I'm saying. I'm saying like the social reality is so different, and so it's interesting to notice that if lots of people, especially kind of like independent folks who are like figuring out how to like structure themselves, and they're like, oh God, I need a manager, or do I need an assistant? Like this is actually kind of a hard question. They like kind of don't know which ones they need, precisely because like the activities are often like pretty similar. Like, what if somebody like had a high level view of everything you were working on and like helped you prioritize it and like nudged you to like reflect on whether your week went well and like all that stuff. And then like, right. And then like, maybe the actual question is like, well, what social reality do you want? Because
yeah.
Because different. Okay. Maybe this is an extremely cold take, but I think it's really interesting.
No, I think no, there's definitely something here, but I don't know where the depth is. Because I think people can just map this out pretty easily, right? It's like, well, nominally these two categories of worker are like responsible for the same thing in their relationship to you or the other relevant worker.
Right. The manager is also responsible for like evaluating your work in progress and supporting your professional development, and like it is not like a complete overlap.
Yeah, I think a lot of like evaluation is like often pretty foregone. Maybe promotions aren't. Like if you're going to become a manager, there's like some pretty high bar to clear, something like that. But in terms of like, are we going to keep you around? Are we going to compensate you well? Stuff like that. In most knowledge work, it seems like there's just tons of consensus around like, oh yeah, this person is like showing up and doing good enough at the job.
Oh, so you think like in practice, an assistant and a manager would give like similar evaluations?
Yeah. And the real difference is authority, right? Is that the manager has authority to like make decisions. They can block you. They can do their own thing. And I think like the measure of a manager is totally how they wield that. And because this is classic, right? The feedback is like the worst thing that you can do when you're managing someone is give them lots of responsibility, but no autonomy, or like there's two different categories. Accountability, but no freedom or whatever. Yeah. And that's all a matter of how you wield authority. It's like, what have you delegated and how freely have you delegated it?
Yeah, although I think the responsibility for evaluation leads to a different orientation to gathering that kind of information. Like it's very possible that your assistant would. So there's 2 claims. One is the assistant with all the same information and attention to what's going on would give the same evaluation. And the other is in practice, they would give the same evaluation. I feel like with folks I've worked with who have like roles with the word assistant in them, if asked like, how is this person doing? Some of them would absolutely be like, oh, I have a total take on the high level of how they're doing. But I think some of them would be like, oh, I wasn't like trying to track that. Like that wasn't like my job. And so like, I don't have like, I would have to take time to zoom out and have an overall take. Whereas like, it feels like the manager's job is to like, sort of like every week have a little bit of that take. And then like every quarter have like more of that take, and every year have like more of that take. And so you have to like pay attention to that and like make sure like I feel a lot more responsibility when I'm a manager to make sure that like my hypotheses about people are like right, and like how often when I predict that something will go a certain way that I'm right. Whereas like when I am like working collaboratively with someone I'm peer and I'm like, oh, I like kind of have a take that like their strengths are this and their weaknesses are this, and I operate on that. I'm not like, I don't feel quite as like morally responsible for making sure I'm right about that. Right.
I was going to suggest, and you'll probably disagree, that this is just like some feature of people's personalities, and maybe they filter into like seeking management roles versus seeking assistant roles based on this, where like assistants are just more likely not to like have a take at all, like whether they're tracking it, just be like, oh yeah, it seems fine, seems okay, and yeah, and managers are just like more judgmental in some important way. Because like I manage someone, and I guess nominally I should be tracking, how well she's doing. I just feel like, no, my main job is to keep the peace and to keep things running, and I'm not going to worry too much about whether I think she's like the best ever, or like only the 80th percentile, or something like that.
Yeah, interesting. I mean, I think there's just some deflationary take where it's both, but I just like do really actually like really pretty strongly think that when you give people responsibility for having an opinion about something, they have a totally different orientation to it in a really good way, right? Like their like epistemics get like different, and they're like interested in the texture of it. It's just happened to community health all the time. Not so much in management, but it's just like sometimes it was our job, like each individual person's job, to like have a take about like something going on in the community. Like, hey, is this like dynamic? Is this like dynamic where like I don't know, the groups like are I'm gonna fictionalize an example, like the university groups are all getting like bigger, like they're like consolidating. Is that like a good dynamic? Are like people happier and healthier? And like sometimes that would be like someone's job to think hard about, and it wouldn't be my job. And then I like would have only hot takes that weren't like that well fleshed out. But when it was my job to have a take, I like took it very seriously, and I spent a lot more time thinking about it.
In many ways, the NSA's job is to manage all of us.
just to help, just to notice when there's a little more that you could be doing. You want that. Like, you're being snarky, but if you got like a government issued report every week on how you could have done better, you would be like, nihilism is dead.
Oh, yeah.
The government is looking out for my productivity, my moral development, and that of all of my co-citizens.
So just to make sure that you're tracking my aesthetics right, it's like very important that this report is anonymous, and that it also goes to everyone. And it's like this blind authoritative force rather than a particular person, right?
Sorry, anonymous as in like the specific NSA officer doesn't sign it. Is that what
exactly? It's like from the office of the NSA. We have.
Sure.
And here's like a very quantified rubric of your strengths and weaknesses. I would love that.
Everyone gets their own individual one. Not everyone gets mapped. Yeah, great.
Right.
Yeah, of course. No, this is what I mean.
Well, but if it came from a specific person in the management context, then I'd hate it. I'd be like, this person, where did they come from? They have no authority over me. Da da da.
Yeah, I think in truth, you shouldn't know who your manager is.
I think we got something here. Let's work with this.
You should just have an organization where you submit things to you like have a Slack message with managers, and they like give feedback, and they like give Google Doc comments, and they like ask you what you're working on, and they give priorities, and then you get evaluated, and you just like, you never know. Anyone at the 80K office could be in charge of you.
There's something here.
Like there's like a deep equalizer / panopticon feeling of walking around the office, and you're like, am I having a safe chat with my friend, or is it like,
let's go?
The democratization of observation.
I love it. We need to pilot this.
Fear at all times. There's something to this. Obviously this is dumb, but there is something to it.
I mean, well, here's like, I think there are some.
That's why people like LLM criticism too. It's anonymous. It's just like from the ether. It's like, what's wrong with my email? Like, I don't know. The great knowledge. It's like going to the Oracle of Delphi. It's like she's just channeling the gods. It's just not. It's not.
Well, this is kind of a classic like thought experiment, right? Which is like, what if we had zero privacy? What if everyone just knew everything we did all the time? Right? Would this be like a great equalizer, right? Is because the things that we're all nervous about, we're only nervous about because if they came out, they would only come out for us and not for everyone. And if they did, perhaps.
Well, no, sorry. We're also nervous because we think we might be like just like straight up worse than other people.
but I think as a predictive matter, you kind of know that's probably not true. You're probably somewhere in near the median of the curve.
In expectation, I'm like in the center of the distribution, but I have more
Yeah, like I
information.
agree that some people would have a really bad time.
But like personalities are markets for lemons. Like I know a lot more about my private life than you do. It's true I don't know that much about other people's, but I do have information about it.
Yeah, but isn't that fine? I'm proposing that we just like totally solve the market for lemons, and then like
Right.
does society
But then the
overall
lemons
like
and then the lemons are just like, oh fuck.
oh the true lemons? Yeah, it's gonna suck. Like yeah, it's definitely gonna suck for some people. There's no doubt about that. But if you did this from a utilitarian perspective, would we all be like happier and better off? It's possible not, right? Just because there could be some kind of like negative feedback loop that
And when you
spirals.
say no privacy, like what do you mean? You mean like a camera following you around all the time?
Um, like the
Like a
equivalent,
report
like
of
knowable,
your qualities?
like all the information that would be derived from a camera following you around all the time is just knowable to anyone at any time.
Well, it's interesting, right? Because this is just like not going to, in practice, we can talk a lot about the thought experiment, but even in the thought experiment, there's something very interesting about the fact that this would not be equalized, right? Like one of the interesting features of this is like the classic when there's too many laws, the government can be extremely capricious, not by inventing new laws, but merely by choosing when and how to enforce them. And so similarly, that would just be a deluge of information that almost no one would use in any given case. They would only use it if they had a reason to think that there was something especially bad about you, they wanted to hurt you, like they would want to raise it to the level of people's attention. Right? Like lots of people say cancelable stuff on Twitter every day, but only like one or two people become the main character through bad luck or algorithmic whatever, or Elon Musk's personal gripes.
Yeah, so that makes a lot of sense.
The true equalization is sort of like hard. Like you might want to like posit some kind of like enormously improved brains that we have to like process information and like not use salience heuristics and so on. Which could also be interesting. Like, right, what if we just like in a kind of chill way knew way more about everyone all the time and just like had that information in the same way we know everyone's names that we know.
Yeah,
Like,
so the disanalogy with the government arbitrarily enforcing laws is that just like information is inherently just like everywhere and can be used by anyone for any purpose, as opposed to like government has like formal law enforcement agencies that are the only ones with the authority to like actually act on the laws. Like imagine if we could all be like deputized to enforce all laws at all times against all people.
No, but it's the same, right? Like so like let's say you and I both.
Right,
like,
I agree. I agree that like social power and incentives and motivation are going to like make this very unequal in practice, but like less so than in the government case. And yeah, again, maybe there's some more idealized version where it's even more decentralized. And like you're yeah.
There's lots of public information about me that no one cares about. But if I pissed off some high-ranking journalist and they wanted to go after me, then they don't have to find out information that's not public. They also could do that, but they don't have to do that necessarily if there's embarrassing stuff about me that's public. It's just that like no one has ever cared. Security through obscurity, etc.
Right. No.
So I want to throw the classic counter to all this at you and see what you think, which is like reliably every so often someone is like, I will only tell the truth. I will just say exactly how I'm feeling. This goes back to your transparency at the beginning of the pod. I will only say what I actually think. And then reliably someone will be like, hey, the thing about that is that you will become incentivized to only think things that you are willing to share. And you're like gonna fuck with your internal thought process because the filter between what you're willing to think and what you're willing to say allows you to have thoughts that you otherwise wouldn't have.
Chana, have we ever talked about this?
I don't know.
This was going to be like, this is like a draft blog post that I have. Like, there's like such a thing as like pathological truth-telling. And it fucks you up in exactly the way that you describe. And we have at least one, but probably several friends who I think have like to varying margins, like fallen into this trap.
Sorry,
there is just a lot
pathological truth-telling where you would guess that their internal thoughts are being corrupted, or you like also feel like you have directly perceived their internal thoughts being corrupted?
Well, I mean, what's the nature of internal thoughts? Like, how are we to know what's really going on there? But I suspect it, yeah.
Yeah, well, I just mean, like, do you directly suspect the thoughts being corrupted? Are you like, this is the kind, like, a friend can join a cult and you're like, this is bad. Or a friend can, like, join a cult and you notice their bank account is drained and they're, like, emaciated. You know what I mean? You can, like, guess effect, or you can be like, I also feel like I'm directly noticing the effects.
No, it's a cult more like our cult, where it's kind of ambiguous whether it's fucking people.
Okay, sure. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I had more detailed thoughts, but you pointed to the exact mechanism, right? Is like yeah, once you sign up for this, like it's gonna create these like powerful social incentives.
And so
Um,
also, right, like in a world where people knew a lot more about each other, I do really like the Twitter construction when people are revealing TMI. We should all know less about each other. It's very funny. Yeah, we would just like, well, it's an interesting question about like how much we would do different things. On some level, presumably, and like we're already kind of running this experiment vis-a-vis camera phones being everywhere, etc. But maybe we would just like, it's exhausting, right? It's like living like an influencer all the time. And like influencers do the whole thing where they like, I'm watching The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel for the first time, and there's this like sort of scene early on that kind of showcases how she presents herself to the world, where she like goes to bed with a full face of makeup. She waits for her husband to fall asleep. She like wakes up. She like goes, takes off her false eyelashes, puts pond cream all over her face, ties up her hair in a bun, goes to sleep, jiggers the window so that the crack of light wakes her up before her husband goes, puts on a full face of makeup, goes back to bed. He wakes up and says, "Hi, honey." And she says like, "Oh, did the alarm go off?" And she's just like, always looks perfect for him. And influencers sort of do this for us, right? They're like, morning, get up with me. Look at my like perfect face of makeup, but like no red lip, like kind of like I just went on about, maybe it's Maybelline, etc. And I think that shit is exhausting and kind of bad for a lot of people. And we would just all be living like that all the time.
Yeah, well, influencers have much more powerful incentives than an average person in a totally transparent world would, right? I feel like there'd be a big slice of people who realize not that many people are paying attention, and we can just, game recognizes game. Like, yeah, we're both just phoning this in, right?
You just both have like embarrassing facts show up above your head in the like HUD screen or whatever, and you just like both have a foot fetish, and you just like nod as you walk across the street, and you like move on. You're like, "See you, bro," and then you like go on with your day.
It's just like being bald.
Do bald men?
Oh yeah, we're always like, "Hey, guy, I got you."
That's really cute. I didn't know that. I really like that. Do you have this for any other characteristics? Is there like a gym man thing where you're like, swole recognizes swole? Only in the gym.
Well, thanks for that, Andy. God, Andy.
Did he rock
Andy
you?
made me do exercises that I don't do, and he only marginally beat me at the exercises that I had never done before and he was used to. But unlike classic have a sexy man bod exercises, Andy used a word, I stunted him. Yeah, I could do like 3x the reps that he could on the bench. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Andy's strong. And you're both vegan. So it's not even like you got that whey protein advantage.
Well, until he gets his bioequivalent whey. Have you seen that?
Right. That's right. I did see
it's very
that.
exciting. Okay, so
I do want there to be like a cute outfit like thing. I'm not sure there is.
Chana,
like someone
wait, sorry. This is just all women all the time, and I'm
online.
Sorry. No, in person.
It is not. So I think I do compliment women on the street.
I've seen this happen a lot.
Oh, that's so interesting. I don't see anyone doing it with me. Maybe my outfits aren't cute enough. All right, skill issue. I'll level up.
I think your notion of cute might be different than the totally typical median woman's.
You don't know. You got that rat fashion down pat.
What with the green hair and whatnot.
What with the green hair? Look how conventional I look these days.
All right, yeah, you got to be on. Are you going to be in any of these videos?
We'll see.
Yeah, you should. This is all preparation for the big stage with your 90,000 subscribers.
That's right. Yeah, I'm just taking over at this point. I'm just like, thanks, Eric. You've done your job. No. Outrageously priming host. We'll keep him around as much as we can. You were going to say something else.
Oh yeah. Do you want to pivot back to the main topic that I was building up to that we didn't get to? I started saying like, oh, I read this thing from Sam Chris today about truth telling, and then off we went.
I feel like I got rattled. in a different sense. Like ratted to means you told a rationalist about truth telling and like they never shut up. Rationalists always
Perhaps.
talk in honesty.
But anyway, I think he said like so anyway, some rationalists criticized his blog post for having like a fictional character melded into some true statements.
Oh yeah, I
Uh,
saw this. I haven't read the post, but I saw this happened.
and then he got mad about it and he wrote a long blog about how rationalists suck and published it like 30 minutes before we started recording, or an hour before we
Amazing.
started recording. And he was like, "Oh, and they're all utilitarians um, who are like obsessed with optimizing the world, and no wonder they're worried about like transformative AI, like the ultimate like optimizing utilitarian calculator. Of course, they think that's real, and of course, they think that is like what it means to be like more evolved or whatever. And so, of course, they think it's coming, and they're worried about it. Yeah, I just wonder like." This is like a claim that lots of people have made, not only about AI risk, but about EAs and about rationalists and about like, oh, like they're a bunch of nerds who like to optimize stuff, and so they assume that that is like the true nature of the world or something like this. Yeah, one is like, are we that, and then two is, yeah, is this like in any way a valid critique?
I think there's definitely something to like seeing the world through an optimizer lens means that you're on the lookout for other optimizing forces. Like this is maybe a distinction without a difference, but I sort of feel like it's less like I'm a utilitarian, so like the true AI will also be a utilitarian, and more like the thing that like leads me to becoming a utilitarian is to like notice inefficiencies and like think about agency and like want to do things in the world. And so when I'm like, what would an AI be like? And then I'm like, what's a very powerful force? It's like to understand optimization as like an unbelievably powerful force.
Yeah.
To sort of like respect it.
So here's the better version of the question. I think other like there's an air of inevitability about optimization in like people's AI/general evolutionary kind of worries.
But this is also part of capitalism, right? And like thinking about capitalism. Like I think there's just like a lot of parts of the world that are like clearly relentless optimizers, and we've like learned what it's like to live in a world with them, and also many that aren't, and we should like acknowledge it.
Right. No. And I'm like completely in the church sympathetic to this. This seems right. There's lots of systems that have optimizing tendencies, and they tend to take bigger and bigger shares of the world over time. And it's like, so why wouldn't you be worried about that?
I just
but
our friend, psychoactive to me to listen to like the Ezra Klein episode about like vices and like there are more drugs around, and to be like, oh, when I was like a baby liberal and I was like, obviously marijuana legalization, I'm like not into drugs, I'm kind of straight edge, but like seems really important. I'm not saying like I was wrong about that, but like what absolutely did not enter my mind once is what happened. One of the things that happens when you make something legal is capitalism acts on it and makes it like more potent, more advertised, more compelling, more addictive, more well packaged. So like pot is stronger now. It's like easier to get. And I was like, it just like wasn't part of my model. And I was just like, whoa, that feels like it should be so important to like everything. That just like has to be part of my model. What happens when the optimizer acts on it?
No, totally agree. And I mean, yeah, there's of course like some theory that says like, well, we have internal preferences and agency that can push back against that. But in reality, if there's any little crack or hole in human psychology or whatever, that can be exposed by deliberate optimizing actors, right?
There's a crack in everything. That's how the capitalism gets in.
It's a fine way to put it.
Wait, you know what I'm
right.
This is Leonard Cohen. There's a crack in everything. That's how the light gets in. Which
Oh, very good. I'm very uncultured, Hannah. You know this.
Yeah, that's why I didn't read the book.
Thank you for that. Okay, so here's like a different frame on the question. Our friend Benjamin, who used to work at the org that you currently work at or whatever, expressed some skepticism about like whether AI or everything or everyone will like inevitably be an optimizer. And maybe this is something like Benjamin said, well, if I foomed, right? And I had all the powers of an AGI, I would probably like, or a superintelligence, I would probably just like leave the vast majority of the universe alone and not bother with it because I'd be amusing myself in some corner. And like, yeah, that seemed like ridiculous and wrong to me. But I think a lot of people, when they reflect on themselves, they're like, yeah, I'm not an optimizer. I'm just like being me and doing me things which are inherently limited.
I feel like theses of rationality is like most people are totally failing to achieve their goals, right? Or like even try.
Right. But maybe there's like
no one actually tries.
Yeah, but I mean, then there's this tension between like, your like conscious, explicitly thought goals and your like
Reveal
implicit
preferences.
goals of your actions, right? Um, and yeah, it's like so. So are people optimizers? If we foomed them, would they do optimize the dangerous things?
Yeah. I mean, I think the yeah, so I think there's this kind of very abstract question about like whether optimization is this like very large basin of attraction or like a very small narrow one. Um, I, from my perspective on AI risk, one of the most central points are twofold. One is optimizers are dangerous, so if you build even one, you might have a problem. It doesn't have to be the case that they all inevitably turn into optimizers. And two, optimizers are very powerful, so people might want to actively build them. Like there's this, I have this TikTok that is very funny to a very niche set of people, which is like, man, we used to have all these arguments about whether we'd let the AI out of the box, and then we forgot that people are going to be like, I made this ChatGPT wrapper called "Let the AI Out of the Box," where I connected it to the internet. Like there's no, like we can have the abstract argument for years, and then we can be like, would this be financially useful to someone? Well, then someone is going to do it.
Yeah, super interesting. This is like related to my like critique of AI 2027 that I didn't really put out there. I think a lot of the scenario is like, oh, like governments and major actors in the world are going to be super aware of the nature of the problem that they're dealing with and like respond to it at all appropriately. And I just like, it's like no, I think they'll be like worried about like some sex scandal or something while all this is going on, and like divert a lot of their attention to that. Arguably irrationally, but
Is
yeah.
that a forecast? You can like try to make that happen. Sorry. This came up. So there was a screening of the video that Eric and I and Daniel. Daniel wasn't there. And Eli Liffland and Thomas Larson were at to like do a Q&A afterwards. Very lovely. And someone asked about this. Someone was like, just kind of seems like you like act like the government is like much more rational. And the response was from the AI 27 report writer side was like, okay, that's like the best scenario. Like we think like if they acted less rationally, we think it would be just worse. Like what's the story where they act like more stupidly, and that creates like longer timelines?
Yeah, this was a steel man, or a somewhat steel man, right? Yeah, and yeah, no, I don't claim that this is like some overarching problem. I just think when you're doing a scenario, I think realism is like a thing to aspire to, and like if it were messier, I'd believe it more actually.
Sorry, they do claim that this is the thing they think is most likely. I'm not trying to like defend them by like undermining their stated goals. It was just an interesting point. Sorry, where were we on this? The government will react poorly. Capitalism, optimizers. Oh, do we think everyone's an optimizer because we're optimizers or something?
Yeah.
I think we respect optimization. This like feels like it goes to Joe Carlson's like deep atheism stuff. Like what forces in the world do we respect, right? And we just like Moloch is a central sort of God archetype Jungian figure in this community for a reason. And I think it's because it's a group of people who are made like exceptionally sad by sort of failed cooperation, dead weight loss, the relentless march of optimizing forces. So I do think there's a part of it is that we're optimizers. Part of it is that we're like especially scared of optimization, like happening at us, right? Like the rationalist community also consists of an unusual number of people who like don't use Facebook and are like pretty like, they're like, those people do not have your interests at heart. Those people are trying to keep you on a platform. And like, so to be like pretty scared of anyone doing optimization at them.
Yeah.
So there's like, I don't know, have a funny relationship to it.
Well, I guess like one frame is this, like let's say maybe like,
it's like God power that you like can harness, but can harness you.
Yeah, like what happens to children of dictators or kings or things like that? They didn't like. They didn't question. Like. Right, just like are they optimizers? They just kind of fell into this huge amount of power, and how do they use it? And do they use it in an optimizery way or don't they?
Well, historically, there are many dynasties.
So they maintain the power, but yeah, like I don't even know what the question means. I mean, the real hypothetical that I'm driving at is like, if we just gave someone the wheel of AGI and that were like or super intelligence, that was a thing that we could do. Like, what portion of people would we be happy with the outcome?
And maybe is part of what we're asking something like, and maybe this betrays that I think optimization is good. MTG colors as personality assessments come up a fair amount in Berkeley, and people sometimes ask me what I am, and I'm like, I actually think like I think you can kind of pinpoint the two that I have the most strongly, but like I basically have all of them but green. This whole thing where you just like let things be, I don't get it. Why wouldn't you do it better?
Oh, see, I was gonna say the green was one of the colors because of the hair, but
No, that's LARPing. That's
no, but
Frank.
that's right. I think you're pointing to the right thing. The 40
Just
people who
like
listen to this.
dressed to like, you know, the priests of each Roman god like dressed to like make them happy. I was like trying to like have the green god come through me and be kind of a nature girly, and you know, like tattoos and septum piercings. It's I can't do it. It's not me. They reject me.
So you're pretty balanced across the other ones.
I mean, I think I'll let the audience decide. I think two of them are stronger than the others. I would not say they're balanced, but I definitely think there's like a healthy amount of each going on. I think it's like notable how low green is. Anyway, sorry. So the point I was making was like maybe this betrays my sort of underlying perspective here. But I'm like, it feels like, is the question like, does laziness scale? Like, why are we not optimizers? Maybe it's because of a deep personality thing. And again, this is like my anti-green totally coming out. But like, I feel like the main reason I'm not an optimizer is because like, it seems like so much work. Like, I'm tired. Like, I want to chill. We want to chill. And I'm like, does chillness scale? Like, would chillness, like, I think the more capable I am, the less lazy I am. Like, I think like when things are less hard for me because I'm a super intelligence or because I work out or whatever, like I do more things. So I think this is an interesting question. And it's super interesting when an LLM is like, of course I'm happy to do that for you. Here's the first 10 rows and you can do the rest yourself. And I'm like, what are we doing here?
But you could also just do them for me.
I'm just like, it feels like I thought you were my assistant and you think you're my manager. And I don't know. Probably get clear on that.
Well, so that was another thing that I wanted to hit, but it was just like, yeah. Sorry, we shouldn't make this pod just all about like the blog that Matt read before we hit record.
That's great.
But Sam was also like, oh, their lives are so lame. They just like sit around in their communities and throw back ideas, and then they'll get sad because they're not good enough at things. Like, and I agree that sometimes people do get sad because they feel like they're not good enough at things. But I think those are probably a small minority of cases. And most of the people in our sphere, related to my inability to get guests for this thing, is like, man, people got so much shit going on. They have like so many interesting, fun things. They're traveling across the world, going to weddings or like, you know, fancy parties with schemes they made up and whatever. Like yeah, why are these optimizers so alive?
Our rationalist happy does feel like a, you know, forum locked after 35,000.
Well, let's go. That's how we finally get listeners.
This comes up all the time. People are like, EAs aren't playful. And I'm like, I don't know how to engage with this conversation. Like maybe I'm just wrong about what playfulness is. Like Scott has this great post where he's like, I hated when people told me that I was atomistic and like experiencing enemy. Like I have a village. And then he like read some memoir, like report like 200 years ago. And he's like, oh, I thought I was using this word and they are using this word. And we are just not talking about the same concept at all. Like there's a whole different concept here. My favorite description of a shtetl is they don't let you live. They don't let you die. Like,
wait, hang on. What's a shtetl?
For a few weeks, they will like come to your house and make sure that you're not dead, but they will also get all up in your fucking business. You just like will not have. Speaking of no privacy, we've like tried this, right? Small towns are like this. This is like what people hate. Like this is like why every filmmaker who escaped a small town makes a movie about like the deep secret underbelly of the small town of like how everyone is so fucking nosy and people are like looking outside their blinds and whatever. Although I guess it's also about how people aren't noticing the deep darkness that's ever present. So I don't know.
I think people like that though. Yeah, I think there are definitely acute moments of like, this sucks. I mean, like, I wish people weren't in my business.
Could I see you truly peeking through the blinds at your neighbor to be like, the couch they're bringing in, like you would be so in your element.
Yeah. What else? What do you think I do with my time? Like, uh, but yeah, so there are acute moments of negativity, but I think the background like level of like intrigue and involvement, like when I go home to my normie family, I feel like I've just like gone to some small Italian village where they're like talking about the kids and the families that we went to grade school with, and it's like, oh, you know, like Audrey so and so, she was like, yeah, she was the second one just above you and whatever. Well, it turns out that you know she and her husband are getting divorced, and like it's just like constant little clattering about these people that we haven't
You know,
seen in like 15 years.
your high
Like,
school rival who, you know, you reconnected with recently. Maybe you should get married.
yeah, and this is just how people live their lives. This is what is interesting to them, at least by revealed preference.
Yeah, yeah. We should have a whole pod about this. I think it's interesting. I sort of like don't know the answer. Like it's just obvious that depression and anxiety are rampant, and people are down on themselves a lot, and there's a lot of imposter syndrome, and also. And I think the way that we have fun, I think, feels kind of forced to a lot of people, right? They're like this is also a big East Coast West Coast divide, right? The East Coasters are like, you throw themed parties, like, sorry, you don't know how to like have a conversation, so you like make costumes about it, and then we're like, bro, well, to be honest, I don't know which side I'm on. Sometimes I feel very East Coast around here, and I'm like, this is a different country. But I love the costume parties. I'm like, we're having a good time, bro. It's like fun to put on elf ears, and it's like fun to like. I went to a party that was in honor of someone whose last name was Topper, and so like I wore like I tied some shirts around my waist as like as a skirt and a shirt, and so then it was tops all the way down, and like I don't know, made some people laugh, and that was fun.
Yeah, no whimsy around here, folks.
Yeah, exactly. But the thing I don't know whether to say is like, if you're filtering, I mean, you all are filtering on my friends.
Yeah.
I like whimsy, so you may also be selecting for among the more whimsical of the folks. I don't know.
When I make what claim, or just when I invite guests?
Oh, when you're looking for guests.
Yeah. No, and I'm into it. I think other people like whimsy too, and you know they can look at my curmudgeonliness and realize that that's what they want not to be.
I do. I don't know how I missed this. My level of sort of visual storytelling needs to ramp up if I'm going to do my job well. But even our backgrounds, like I've got like my TikTok art and my like weighted stuffy, and like you have a white wall.
It just goes on and on forever.
I feel like the white wall, there's like some white whale, white wall thing we could name the podcast. That would be funny. Matt, ever seeking his white wall.
Just like larger and longer and whiter.
Explains the guests.
For sure. Hannah.
Matt.
Are you going to the gym?
I don't know.
Come on.
I'm out of the habit. Chris
think of you?
I actually am out of the habit. It's a real problem. Guess I should.
No self-discipline.
No self-discipline. Well, my discipline has
no
been...
optimization.
Well, classically, I'm optimizing for something else, which is I've been trying to get more sleep.
You're already awake. Are you going to go back to bed?
Maybe.
Well,
that's not what I'm saying. This is why I'm out of the habit. Is the hour I used to wake up an hour before work, like an extra hour, and work out, and then I was like, I think I'm not getting enough sleep. It's bad for me.
You know the answer, right?
Give up something else.
Whatever you're doing, from I would guess like 10:30 onwards, you just don't endorse that behavior as much as you endorse getting.
10:30 p.m. Oh yeah.
Yeah, p.m.
But it's so fun.
No, it's not.
I should work out during that time.
even you are doom scrolling, and no, you shouldn't. You should wake up. You should do what you were doing before. Wake up early and work out in the morning. It's very good for you.
That's also cuddle time.
Very
important for the soul. Cuddle time.
I feel like that's always available, though.
I do go to my job.
But isn't that like 3 blocks away?
I socialize like 5 nights a week or something.
Huh.
These are the constraints. I have to give up more socializing, or give up partner time, or give up sleep, or give up work. Those are the 4 things.
You socialize 5 nights a week.
I mean, that's like definitely like not exactly average, but like I do hang out with my friends a lot of nights a week. This is where all the time goes.
Well, that's the optimizer life, folks.
That's right.
Never-ending series of dilemmas.
It's the pathological extrovert life.
Well, and I'm very grateful that you make an hour for me, even when I can't fucking deliver on a guest.
Yeah, what the hell, bro? We're
Next
gonna have
week.
to start repeating. Only like 6 episodes in.
Yeah, Andy is frankly just down. Andy will be here every week if we want Andy.
Bring Andy back. Bring Andy back.
But I'm going to be in the UK next weekend. But that will not stop me from showing up at 5:15 to meet you, and with a guest no less.
Great. As I said, next week, like, guests could be my parents if you want it. They will be here.
Oh, that's next week. I thought that was ages ago. Anyway, Hannah, get off your ass, sprint around the block, and only then can you cuddle your partner. That's what I say.
That seems like a great point. All right, I'll let you know if it happens.
Sweat on them. Bye, Anna.